Okay, I'm starting in on a new project today. I got a fire pit I'm making. If you've never peeked at my Facebook, I got some pictures on there of the fire pits I've made. Yeah, I'm not going to dig through it, but under the vise there's a pile of panels there. And I get to try my new welder today. Here's my old Harbor Freight one. Well, the only wire feed I've ever used is this Harbor Freight flux core, and I went out and picked up this used Miller-Matic 211, which I've never used, and I didn't do a lot of research on them. It was available and it was fairly close by. I got a good impression from the guy that I bought it from. So it'll be interesting to see what I can do with that. So let me get started on here and I'll bring you in as I make progress. So here's how I do the base of them, or how I've done them so far. I do the base all in one piece, and I draw it up as bend lines in design edge. And I think I just left 2 tabs at, I think it was 1/8 inch. This is 1/8 inch plate. And just 2 little tabs in there left over. And I can just bend down by hand to start getting them shaped. So that makes the base pretty easy to for me to shape up. And I don't think I've finished one of these by myself yet. This is my 4th one I've made. And I think I get a little further on each one. But it'd be nice to be able to actually finish one of these on my own, so we'll see if we can make this one that. Well, I got a bit of a goof on this one. I've always cut these with no offset, and I left the offset on this one. Now I get interference. So I got to figure out, I might have to put it back on the table and figure out how to line it up and trim those. Well, I have to bring you back on that one. Okay, ready for attempt 2 here. It wasn't hard, but it was tedious to try to get this realigned. And, let's see what happened. I don't know if I get a mess going on here or what. So let's figure it out. Oh. That one I thought was too wild yet fit. Okay, so that's good. I'll get set up to get those tacked together and see if we can make some progress. Whew. Okay, it took me a while, but I think I'm finally set up to try this new welder. I had to make a wrench because I couldn't get the gas turned on. So I made a wrench, and we'll see if we get that turned on. Never used one of these. It's supposed to be fairly automatic. Just set my dial to the 1/8 inch and the blue zone here for old 35 wire. Supposed to adjust the speed, and that is all I've done. So for my level of experience, I've run about a spool and a half of this GP welder over here. So let's see what Mr. Doug Jackson over at SP Seeker, if you're still watching, see if a guy like me can actually do a little welding. this thing's a bit noisy, so I'll have to live with it. Well, I have no idea what I'm doing, but the welds are definitely significantly cleaner. I got a fair amount of soot, but I don't know what that means. But there's hardly any splatter compared to the flux core. That stuff makes a mess. So. Be curious to see how I get used to it. Okay, I just finished cutting the third leg for the fire pit. And let me show you the new jig I made up here. Okay, so I'm not a fan, or I have trouble resetting the bandsaw to cut angle. Okay, so I made up this jig that I can just set in there at 30 degrees. Works pretty good. Just got a little hook on it. Hooks around the fence, so I just gotta set in there and I'm ready to go at 30 degrees. It took a while to make, but it'd be really nice to have, and a lot easier for me than trying to set that fence. So I'll be making more of them as I need different angles. And I'll pick up my parts here and then show you the feet I'm building in a little bit. Okay, I got my legs picked up and set on the table here on the feet. I'm going to get to welding them in a minute. There is the fire pit assembled. I didn't film much of it. I had a really hard time with that one. I made some mistakes in how I cut it, and it was just fight me trying to get it assembled. Plus I didn't have a bite switch, which I do now, which is just a little micro switch tapped into the trigger, so I don't have to pull the trigger, which was really difficult. And then the welder was fighting me too, and I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was me, but I kept burning the wire back into the tip, and it was sticking and making a big bird nest. And I fought it for a while, and finally went to change the tip. And there was 024 wire in the machine, but an 023 tip. I don't know if that's normal or if it's supposed to be a 24. But I had a spool of 030 and the right tip for that. Put that in, then it works great. So, starting to get the feel for this machine. It is so much nicer than the flux core for many reasons. Significantly cleaner. It's like every other time if I used a C-clamp to hold something together, the spatter would get into threads. So yeah, enjoying this torch. I'm gonna fire it up and weld those feet on. So it's a bit loud. I think I'm ready. Okay, I'm going to turn them around and tack the other sides, and probably won't show welding them to the base. That's probably going to be a bit of a challenge, so I'll probably wait till I have somebody to hold them in position, but we'll see. And I'll do one more quick shot of it after the legs are on it. Okay, so I decided to show a little bit of me actually welding instead of just the tacks. I've done 3 sides. I'm only going to do 2 on each one, so I got 3 left. I'll show you them, and then I'll show you the weld when I'm done. Okay, I'm gonna let those cool, and then I'll grab them and show you. Okay, I finished welding up those feet. And dragged them outside here. Hopefully it's not too bright on this metal, but so here's one I did with no cleanup with the flux core from Harbor Freight, and just really messy, lots of soot and lots of spatter. And then I'll show you all 6. Hopefully you can see this somewhat. I don't know how well I can't see if it's even focused on any of that. So there's 1, 2, that one's not very good, but I would consider these my first actual 6 welds ever with a gas shielded welder. Now, I don't even know what I'm looking for yet. You know, what angles, if I should push or pull the weld. But I'm pretty sure that's going to hold up a fire pit and looks plenty good enough for me. So, all right, just one more thing. We'll get these welded on the fire pit, and I'm going to call that project done. As long as I'm here, there's a quick peek of where the lawnmower is. Been so busy with work, I haven't had time to work on that. Okay, just finished welding the legs on the fire pit. That didn't go as well as the feet. It was really hard on getting positioning. But I get the right angles on it. But there it is. It's only, I think, the 4th one I've made. little different. The other ones I carried the antlers up and out, but they wanted it smooth on the top, not pointy. But there it is. That one will be out the door probably this weekend, and I'll be on to the next project.